and this is, one of the things that I would say when I hear you talk, Henry, I hear a lot about system navigation. And when this is a power dynamic as much as it is any other thing. Like when we teachers in the class make the policies, as a student, we have Henry has some influence because he can pull strings well, right? But the number of students that are going to get their teachers to read books or change their policies is quite low, right? And so what happens is, necessarily when we're in that supine position, when we're under a hierarchical situation, we almost have to say to ourselves, oh yeah, my teachers are doing the best that they can. Oh, because what other option do you have? You are at the mercy of these people, right? Like you're literally in their classes trying to succeed. What option do you have other than to say what they're doing has to be okay? Because if the moment that you say to yourself, this is fucking bullshit, I am paying this person's, I am paying their salary, and this is the service that I could get better service at, right?
I was gonna say you create a Zuckerberg.
Well, yeah, but it is, in order to survive, you almost have to say that. But one of the things that you guys are seeing, and why I think this is such a powerful space, is if we say that personnel is policy and you guys are planning to become the personnel of the next generation, the sooner you start to think to yourself, no, it doesn't have to be this way. And then the moment that you think to yourself, I don't have to use the same algorithms that my teachers are using, one of the immediate questions that might come up is, well, if I'm not going to do that, then what do I do? And that's the point of learning, of thinking critically. Like, if I talk about the two major fields of interest that I have for the learning code, it is quite literally learning science, cognitive science, and critical race theory. Learning science allows us to think really critically about what's happening in the brains of our students. Critical race theory centers race as a societal-wide analysis of social structures that impede certain groups of students. Now race is not the only one that does that. So does age, so does sex, so does socioeconomic class, but race is an egregious form of dehumanization in that particular, and it's a form that is externally, you can visually see it externally. And I would say that in the navigation of our college system, racism is baked into so many of the structures of our system that using critical race theory to analyze those structures will allow us to be able to identify the weakness points. And then as we develop fluency and agency in the learning theory, we can meld those into a model by which we're able to deconstruct in a very powerful way what students need to succeed regardless of what race they are. And that's important, right? Because my Black students deserve the attention that white students might not deserve, because the larger society endows, projects upon Black students very, very different meanings than they do on white students, right? And if I'm blind to that as instructor, if I treat those two things as the same thing, there's policy again. I am making policy that is race blind, which means I am allowing racism to exist in my practices.